Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and welcome back to Black American Lineage. Thank you for your support. Thank you for going on this journey through our past and present. And today, I want to talk about the Underground Railroad and what the Underground Railroad was. I'm still surprised when I talk to people about the Underground Railroad. And despite the movies and all that's been said about the Underground Railroad, many people still don't know what the Underground Railroad was. It was not an actual railroad or it was not an actual train. It was a network of people that had agreed to work together to get enslaved people off those plantations and on a journey to freedom. It was very dangerous, it was complicated, it was hard work, really. But there were people called abolitionists, and these were mostly white people, who were dedicated to helping enslaved people to freedom. Now, some people say they were making money. I'm sure there was some money to be made from it because people donated to the effort, because it did cost money to put that network together. Yet and still, it was dangerous, and people had to be dedicated in order to help those enslaved people to freedom. And those people existed, those abolitionists existed in the South. They had to be very discreet and they had to be very careful. But some of them did live in the South, and some of them did assist the enslaved people to freedom. I'm going to let you watch this video and then I'll tell you a little bit more.
The Underground Railroad was not a physical railroad, but a vast, secret network of routes, safe houses, and brave individuals dedicated to helping enslaved people escape from the South to freedom in the North or Canada. Beginning in the late 18th century and growing in the 19th century, it became a symbol of courage and resistance against the brutal institution of slavery in America. This covert operation involved a diverse group of people, both black and white, who risked their lives to fight for freedom. Conductors, like Harriet Tubman, who herself escaped slavery, made dangerous journeys back to the South multiple times to lead others to safety. Tubman's fearless leadership saved dozens of enslaved men, women, and children. Others, like William Still, a free black man in Philadelphia, helped coordinate the effort by recording the stories of those who passed through and aiding their transition to a free life. The journey was perilous. Escaping enslaved people often traveled hundreds of miles on foot at night through hostile territory. They relied on secret codes, hidden compartments in wagons, and the bravery of abolitionists who provided food, shelter, and guidance. Despite the constant threat of capture, the Underground Railroad was a beacon of hope. It is estimated that over 100,000 enslaved people escaped through this network. The Underground Railroad remains a powerful testament to the strength of human will and the fight for freedom. It stands as a reminder that, even in the darkest of times, there were those willing to defy injustice and help others seek the light of liberty.
He makes a very good point. When we think about the Underground Railroad, very often we think about Harriet Tubman because she was a conductor on the Underground Railroad, as it were. But she wasn't the only one. There were many people that were helping them to escape slavery. She was one of the best known. But he said over 100,000 people escaped slavery through the Underground Railroad. So let's just say that your house was won on the Underground Railroad. What that meant was that you would have to be connected to the network. The network would let you know that a particular group of people were coming from the South, from the plantation, that you were going to have some type of compartment in your house that only you knew about. And when those people came to your house, those runaway slaves came to your house, you would have to have a safe place for them to hide, so to speak. You would have to, they would have to have somewhere to rest and to get food. And then you would give them the directions. You would have to tell them where the next stop was. You had to provide maps for them. You had to give them very clear directions. And then the next person the next house that they went to, that person sometimes would have to meet them in the woods or off the beaten path so you could do it in secret because this was a secret network. And do the same thing, provide food, clothing, and shelter. And they may have to stay there for a while and then give them directions to the next destination. And that is how they operated the Underground Railroad. It was not railroads, it was not a train, it was people using their homes to house and clothe and feed the runaways and then help them to get to the next destination. And that is the route that they took until they finally made their way to freedom. So the Underground Railroad is a very important feature of our history because it did show the resilience of the people, the bravery of the enslaved people, and the people who were operating those houses along the way. It took a lot of bravery because you know that if those if those patrols, as they call the police, and just as a sidebar, the police in the United States was established to control the enslaved people and to track down runaways and things like that. And if you were aiding and abetting runaway slaves, the punishment for you would have been harsh. So anybody that was assisting with the Underground Railroad would have to be aware of that. You have to have skills that we can't even imagine today about how to hide, disguise your scent so dogs would be able to track you. There's all sorts of things that you had to know. So you had to be smart. You had to be smart, but you also had to be very brave and you had to be willing to put your desire for freedom above comfort on the plantation. It wasn't for the faint of heart trying to run away. That's why most of them didn't run away. But many of them did run away, and the Underground Railroad was a mechanism by which many of them escaped slavery. Okay, y'all, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about the video and have a good evening.